Well, good evening. Whoa. Good evening, everyone. We'll give Justin a chance to run back there and turn this mic down a little bit. It's pretty hot. Let me thank all of you for being here tonight. You know, we, and I especially, love this evening because it kind of puts everything in a wrapping paper for us. You know, all the great things that we've done, starting with volleyball, wrapping up with baseball and softball here in the springtime. And it's just a great, great time. And I love this event. The guys, the ladies, everyone comes in, you know, looking good, and there's no pressure tonight. We're not trying to win any ball games piece, I don't think. So just looking good. So it's a great, great evening. But without any further ado, you know, I want to introduce Dr. Mark Sorrells to come to the podium. As you guys know, Dr. Sorrells is the president of FTCC. Don't need to tell you that. But the big thing that I've learned over the years in dealing with Dr. Sorrells is that when we talk budget monies, and we talk about budget monies quite a bit, the thing I like about him is he's an athlete. He understands the value of what we're trying to do. And I can tell you this, that it pains him, and it pains me, and it pains you sometimes for us to have to cut some of the wants, but the needs are always met. And Dr. Sorrells is the first to recognize that if we're going to have a first-class program, that we've got to be in line with the Brunswicks and the Cape Fear Community College and all of those guys. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the president of Fayetteville Tech Community College, Dr. Mark Sorrells.
So I'm going to correct Steve. He was an athlete, okay? He was. At my age, I have to be very careful. About the only thing I do athletic anymore is go to the gym and work out. Now, I do snow ski a lot, but the trick is you never fall down, because if you fall down, you can't get back up. Well, good evening. It's really a pleasure to be here with you tonight and come together to celebrate another great year of Trojan athletics at Fayetteville Tech. Tonight's much more than celebrating records, wins, or final scores. Although this year has certainly been something to celebrate and given us plenty to celebrate. Tonight is about our student athletes, their accomplishments on the field and in the classroom, as well as our coaches, our athletic staff, families, and everyone who've supported the teams throughout the year. Tonight, we're celebrating a lot of accomplishments on the field, but as I said, also achievements in the classroom. To our student athletes, thank you for representing Fayetteville Tech with strong moral character, pride, discipline, and the heart of a champion. You balance practice, games, travel, academics. Many of you work, family responsibilities, and you continue to show up and compete each and every day. That takes commitment. It takes maturity, and it takes says a lot about your character. This has been another remarkable year for Trojan athletics. Our volleyball team has had an outstanding year. Ladies, you finished 25-6 overall, breaking the program record for wins, earning the number 2 seat in the Regional 10 Division II tournament, finishing as Region 10 Division II runner-up, and advancing to the district tournament. We also celebrate Coach Mo Licardo, who was named Region 10 Division II Coach of the Year, along with student athletes Kyrie Willis, Ella Ferry, Taylor Detrant, and Sammy Harless, who earned all region and all tournament honors. Our women's basketball team made history also, finishing 21-7 overall, 15-5 in conference play, while setting new records for wins. We're proud to recognize Coach Peace Shepard, who was also named Region 10 Coach of the Year, and Alyssa Phillips, who earned first team all-region and academic all-region honors. That kind of success reflects talent, toughness, and tremendous leadership. Our men's basketball team put together another strong season, finishing 16-12 and 14-8 in conference play, earning the number 4 seed in the Region 10 conference tournament. And we congratulate Xavier Whitaker, Ray Mitchell, and Cameron Burns for earning Region 10 recognition. Their success is a reflection of hard work, consistency, and team-first basketball. Our baseball team has had its best season in program history, finishing the regular season with 32 wins overall and 28 in conference play. They secured the number 2 seed in the East Tournament of Region 10, which begins Thursday, I believe. They play Wake Tech, so go beat the Eagles, right? Go beat the Eagles. This week, this is a tremendous accomplishment for the program and a clear reflection of the hard work, consistency, and competitive spirit throughout the season. Our softball team represented FTCC with pride and determination throughout the season. They competed hard, continued to develop as a team, and showed the kind of commitment that strengthens the program. We're also proud to recognize Heather Haggard, who earned second-team All-Region honors as a utility player, a well-deserved recognition for her talent, versatility, and work ethic. We appreciate the dedication of our softball student athletes and look forward to the continued growth of the program. Across every sport, what stands out most is not simply the record, it's the way that our student athletes carry themselves on the field, in the community, and in the classroom. It's the way they support one another. It is the pride that they bring to this college, both in competition and in the classroom. To our coaches and athletic staff, thank you. You do far more than teach the game. You build confidence, accountability, discipline, leadership, character, and you're building the future of our young men and women to lead this community in this state. The impact you've had on these students will last long after the season ends. To the family and friends here tonight, thank you for your encouragement and support. You're there for the long days, the road trips, the celebrations, the tough losses, yet your support matters tremendously. And to our sophomores that are preparing for the next step, we're proud of you. Whether you continue your education or you move on to another program, begin your career, or pursue another path, you will always be part of the Trojan family. Tonight, we celebrate a year of achievement, a year of growth, perseverance, and pride. Congratulations to all of our student athletes. Thank you for making Fayetteville Tech your choice in starting your educational journey to a future-ready career. Enjoy the evening, and as always, go Trojans.
Good evening. Good looking bunch out here today. Listen, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce to you guys tonight someone who's going to come do the invocation for us. And I want to talk about him for just 1 second. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I decided with my program that we were going to do one night a week in the preseason in the classroom. And we wanted to try to talk about character. We wanted to talk about team building. We wanted to do it. But the one thing that I really wanted to do with our program was make sure that the Christ was in the center of all of it. And so I had the distinct pleasure of knowing this guy since we were about 16 and 15 or 16, whatever it was. And we've had some times together where I wouldn't have thought that one day he would have been a pastor, but that's where we're at. And so the good Lord's got a plan for everybody. And so anyway, with that being said, this man jumped in with me as a partner in these classes. And what I say about it is not everything was biblically driven. Some of it was just team building, but most of it was. And, I think that he has impacted our culture so much with our team and the things that he's been able to do with our guys. And, one of the most remarkable nights this past year, this year right here is, one of the very first meetings he brought 9. He brought 9 to Christ. in that meeting. And so that was really, really big for me and for our program and for the future and the souls of our young men. And so I'm really, really proud of that. But anyway, I wanted to bring this guy up here. He's going to bless the food for us and say whatever he needs to say. And I really appreciate him. But I hope y'all welcome Pastor Charlie Hickman.
Thank y'all so much. Yeah, to this day, I'll ride down the road and I'll look over at him and I'm like, I can't believe you're a coach. And he'll look at me and go, I can't believe you're a preacher. But God has a sense of humor. Amen. And I've been a part of the Trojan family now, and I do call it a family. And I've come and talked to these young men, and when I would first start coming, I'd say, man, they don't want to hear nothing I have to say. But they've always been very respectful. Every student I've run into on the campus has been very respectful. And that goes to show that teachers, you're doing a great job in the classrooms. You're doing a great job with them in in their sports. And but one part that will always stick out to me, and I'm going to try to say this without crying, but last year I lost my mom. And I remember they had us in a hallway and getting ready to march the family out, to get ready to do the funeral. And I remember the doors opened and I said, man, there's a lot of black people over there. I was like, I didn't think my mama knew that many black people, Who is that, I'm sorry, but this is, it's the truth. I'm white. They're black young men, But I just remember, I said, man, there was a lot of black people in that back. I didn't know she knew any black people, And next thing I know, I turn around and look, and it's the basketball team. And dude, I lost it, and love should never see color. And whenever you spend time with each other, you become family. It don't matter color, race. They love me and I love them. And man, every time I walked up to a game, they just show, I feel like a celebrity walking into a Trojan game. I'll walk into a game and they'll start dapping me up and hugging me. And everybody's like, hey, who's that guy right there? Like, why are they showing him so much love? But I've become a fan of Fayetteville Tech and the Trojans. I love what we do. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for inviting me tonight to do this, to pray. And I just want to say, keep up the hard work. You deserve everything you get tonight, all the awards. Hard work truly does pay off. Amen. All right, let's pray. Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for all your blessings. God, that's what tonight is. Tonight is a blessing. Lord, we ask that you bless this food tonight. Lord, you bless our time together. Lord, I'm not going to ask you to be with us because your word says you never leave us and you never forsake us. So we tell you welcome into this room tonight. We thank you for the hard work that these young men and women have poured into their year, their season. And Lord, we ask blessings over the rest of their season, the baseball season that's coming into. Lord, we ask blessings over the end of the school year. We ask your blessings over exams, God. We ask your blessings over the last few tests, God. And Lord, we ask for guidance and protection over decisions that they have to make for their future. Lord, bless this night, bless this school, bless these students, bless these programs. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, y'all about to really love me. I'm going to be getting y'all out to the food. So if we can, let's have all of our guests. Y'all can lead us in the food. So we'll go with guests first. Y'all can line up. Yeah, y'all good. Yep. Mhm. Next up, we will have women's basketball. Except for you, Peace. Next up is going to be softball. We will go men's basketball next, men's basketball. And the baseball team.
All right, we're going to get started in just a minute here. Hope you've had enough food. If you haven't had enough, I was told that there's plenty of barbecue, some chicken, but that's about it. But feel free to help yourself. Go back for seconds. I know a lot of the guys were asking if they could, and you certainly can. Well, my goal is always to keep it to a couple of hours, so I'm going to go ahead and start. I think the bulk of the folks have finished, except maybe for the tables over here, some of the baseball players and softball players. Well, softball went first, but some of the baseball players. But feel free to eat as we're doing this. You know, before I get into the guest recognition piece, bless you, Alicia, before I get into that part of it, let me recognize, because I am so blessed here at Fayetteville Tech to have a good team to work with, a hardworking group that they just want to, they never say no. They're willing to do the extra things, go the extra mile, especially when it comes time for the athletes. So I want to recognize my team, starting with Roderick right here, Roderick Gooden, the athletic logistics technician. At this table over here, Sydney Love, the Sports Information Director and Compliance Assistant. And someone who did take advantage of going back and getting that extra barbecue, the Assistant Athletic Director, Head Baseball Coach, and Success Coach, Nick Love. Last but certainly not least, Sherry Squire, the trainer for us. I'm sure you've heard of this statement, that it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm not calling anyone in here a child, but it certainly takes more than the coaches to raise our athletes to the level that they need to get to. And I'm looking around the room, and my wife, Patty, told me to be very careful not to start mentioning names. I'm going to take your advice, honey. Not to start mentioning names, because I end up always leaving someone out. So on the ride home, I'll say, oh man, I forgot to mention. Oh gee, I wish I had said. So I'm not going to mention names, but I will tell you, when you start talking about raising a child and developing our athletes, student athletes here at Fayetteville Tech, It isn't just starting with the coaches who've gone out and recruited these fine young athletes. They've talked to coaches, they've looked at transcripts, they've tried to select players that come in that will be the kind of players we want to represent Fayetteville Tech. So as I tell you that, and I'm looking at Alicia right here, and I don't want to say anything, but one of the things that Dr. Sorrells initiated this year with Alicia's team was that we were able to get our athletes scheduled, go into those interviews, sitting with the athletes, getting them scheduled. So instead of waiting, because we procrastinate, and if you're telling me you don't procrastinate, I'm going to call a fib on that, because we do. So this is an opportunity for us to get into those advising sessions, sign up for the classes that you need to take to graduate. You can get thrown into any class, but is that class going to help you towards graduation? And that's why when we set these things up before the semesters begin, it is critical. It is critical for you to take it seriously and get it done. From the Student Learning Center, I'm not going to say Mario Drisio, I'm not going to say names. I said I wasn't going to do that. You know, from Richard McDonald and the YES program, I could go right all around the room and thank all of you guys, and William Perry, not to leave you out at all, because if it wasn't for William Perry and the bookstore and all the things that Debbie Todd and that group does in the business office to make sure that we can, you know, make a little money when we charge admissions and sell some product at these games, I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you from the bottom of my heart and from the athletes. If you were invited to this event and you're not part of that FTCC crowd that I just mentioned, please know that you're here for a reason, because we, from the athletic department, we recognize your value. I could look around from Larry Howell, who's been driving buses for us for years now and is so valuable. To Portia and Eric, the folks that drive our buses, to Ann Jones I'm seeing over here, you know, quite honestly, we couldn't do it. Larry, we couldn't get people to a game without you. And you are the most requested bus driver that we've got. Can Larry Howell drive for us? Can Larry Howell drive for us? Hopefully next year we'll get Larry Howell some more. We'll see. Other folks that you've generously donated money to the programs. We couldn't do it without you. I mentioned Dr. Sorrells and the budgets early on, and quite honestly, you know, he gives us as much money as we can possibly get. And I know we get as much as a lot of the other departments get. So I'm thankful for that. But that takes care of our needs, and our wants are covered by the generous donations by so many of you out here that make that cash donation to our athletic program. And I can't thank you enough. So from the bottom of my heart and the athletes, thank you so much. All right, let's get on with the part that you guys really came for. Let's start with volleyball. Coach Mo Licardo.
All right, good evening. Wow, what a year for us. Before I do anything, though, I want to thank Coach Tyler. Without him and his efforts and his dedication to our program, we are nowhere. We are nowhere. That is honesty. Okay, his recruiting efforts are amazing, and he keeps me in check all the time. So I appreciate you, Tyler. Thank you very much. In a year that we broke every single school record It was kind of hard to come up with these, but we have to figure it out. I'm going to start with Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, our Defensive Player of the Year, this Taco Bell loving young lady, has been with FTC. I'm sorry? Dang. So I guess you know already. You're just going to have to wait. So I'm doing what, offense? Okay. Hold on, I must scroll. Our Offensive Player of the Year, this young lady came to us with a very heavy swing. When she hits the ball, it's very electric. Everybody in the gym looks at it, wondering where it came from. You can ask her teammates how hard and scary it is to dig one of her balls. She played 107 sets, set the school record, single season record for kills and attempts with 382 kills on 999 attempts, averaged 3.57 kills per set, 16 service aces, 124 digs, 2 solo blocks, and 33 block assists. I'm more proud of all that. I'm more proud of her 4.0 GPA. After one season, she is leaving us. She is going on to Virginia State, which is a D2, to play for them. So, Kyrie, come on up. Kyrie Willis, sorry. Okay, Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. She has been with the program for 2 years, but she's really been playing for me for about 6 years, going back to when she was 14 and 15. She is going into she is already in our nursing program, which again is even a better statistic for me, as all my players know that I value their education way more than I do volleyball. She played 107 sets, 332 digs, 667 service receptions, 76 assists, and probably her favorite stat, 1 kill. Okay. For all this, she has a 3.76 GPA. Addison Hudson. Okay, so our MVP joined us really, really late in our recruiting process. She's transferred from a community college in Oregon. I can't explain how important she was to our players. I'm not even going to read off of this really. Just her drive, her competitiveness, her demeanor just made everybody on the team around her better. 100%. Our quarterback I say quarterback, I know it's not football, but that's just the term of being able to run our offense. She set the single season assist record with 921 assists, which is 8.61 assists per set. Both were top 3 in the conference. Her 311 digs was second most on the team. She also had 30 aces and 93 kills. Her favorite thing was her 3 solo blocks. She's always talking about how she got a touch on a ball. So, being 5'7" on a good day. Okay. First team all conference. I'm sorry, Kyrie was first team all conference too. 3.76 GPA. Right. Taylor DeTrent. That's volleyball. Thank you so much.
Hey, too short. Y'all didn't hear that. Good evening, everyone. Can't see, I'm getting old. The 2025 season was truly a historic one for the FTC women's basketball program. This team is made up of 9 freshmen and just 3 sophomores. Yet they competed at an elite level, pushing all the way to the Region 10 Division II tournament championship game and become the 25-26 runner-ups. Along the way, the Lady Trojans set new program records with 703 field goals, 387 assists, 320 steals, and 1,881 total points. They didn't just break records, they redefined the standard. Coming into the season, the program's previous highs were 12 overall wins and 11 conference wins. This year, this group surpassed those marks in record-breaking fashion, finishing with 21 wins, 15 conference wins, and an incredible 10-game winning streak. They also defeated 3 nationally ranked teams this season, including Lewisburg, Cleveland Community College, and the defending Regional 10 champs, Bryant and Stratton. With that final victory coming in the regional tournament semifinals, because of the heart, resilience, and commitment shown from preseason all the way through the championship game, this team has established a new standard for excellence in women's basketball here at Fayetteville Tech. This program has earned respect across the Region 10 conference, and these young women should take pride in knowing that they were the ones who made this happen. In my 5 years here at Fayetteville Tech, I can confidently say this has been one of the most precious and special group of student athletes I've had the privilege of coaching. They've made this season enjoyable, successful, and unforgettable, while also growing as leaders both on the court and in the classroom. They have set the tone and for what it truly means to be a Trojan student athlete, and I could not be prouder. As a result of the remarkable season, this team was recently featured in Fayetteville's own The Fayetteville Observer this past week. Our sophomores are either still deciding or have already taken the step toward continuing their basketball and academic journeys at a 4-year level college. I'm proud to share that Kiara Duncan will be continuing her academic and athletic career at Greensboro College. And Amari Banks will be doing the same in her hometown of Georgia at Payne College. See why I love them? We are incredibly proud of all of our sophomores and wish them continued success. I would now like to recognize a few individuals for their outstanding contributions for this season. First, we have our Offensive Player of the Year recognition. She surpassed her own record of 97 assists last season, finishing this year with 105 assists. Over the past 2 years, she has been a consistent leader on and off the court. Her confidence has grown tremendously and as an offensive threat, and she has earned the respect of her teammates and opponents alike, establishing herself as one of our most impactful players. She was also named the Region 10 Honorable Mention Team, Amari Banks. Next, our Defensive Player of the Year. She has earned her place in the top 5 in program history for both total rebounds and offensive rebounds. Her dedication, toughness, ability to protect the rim, run the floor, and create havoc in our full court presses where we found so much of our success this season, combined with her relentless work ethic, have made a lasting impact on this program. She loves the game of basketball. She is dedicated to her team, always striving to improve, and leads with a genuine passion and a big heart. Academically, she maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout the entire season and is on track to earn her associate's degree in general education and nursing this month at graduation as a freshman. She was also named to the academic all-region team, and she is more deserving of this recognition. Tatiana Faison. And finally, our most valuable player. She had a record-breaking season, setting a new program with 75 three-point field goals made. She also broke into the top 5 in points, field goals, and steals, showcasing all her all-around impact on the game, all as a freshman. She is fearless, and she is a joy to coach. She has a beautiful spirit, a great attitude, always positive, always smiling, and consistently find ways to help her team win. She was also named to the All-Region First Team All-American team. For all of her outstanding performances and contributions, she has been named the Women's Basketball Most Valuable Player. Elissa Phillips. I would like to give a special thank you to my coach Kirkland, our athletic department, administration, our 6-man and cheerleader, Elsace, our motivator and our road dog, and our prayer warrior, Professor Sanders. And last but not least, our lucky charm, Miss Janet Baudry. Thank you.
I don't know how I'm gonna follow that, but good job, Peace. So we had an interesting year. We had some injuries. We did some things, but production is about making it from one failure to the next sometimes, and being able to be successful. That ends up being the definition sometimes, where you're making it from one failure to the next, and we hit some valleys and did some things, but I'm really, really proud of this group. We were sophomore loaded with 10 sophomores, 3 of which have already committed. And so I'm very, very proud of that. And we're working on the rest of the 7. But most importantly, trying to get these guys across that stage to graduate and on to the next level of their life. And so I'm really, really proud of them for that. We've seen a lot of success, and we've done everything together. We've laughed together for sure, because this group, boy, right here. We got some comedians in this group, and then they've definitely seen a little bit of anger in practice and stuff from me. I might have raised my voice a couple of times at them, but I hope they never doubt that I'm very proud of them and I love them and want to see them be successful. And so with that being said, we'll go to the Offensive Player of the Year. This guy the offensive player of the year, man. This guy, first year, came in, averaged 8 points a game. Had to drag him to the gym last summer while he was taking some summer classes a little bit, motivate him to be in there. But he really buckled down, worked hard, and went from 8 points a game to doubling his production to 16 points a game this year and leading us in scoring. Offensive player of the year is Xavier Whitaker. I struggled with this one a little bit because defensive player of the year, I thought it was really clear who our best defensive player was. And then towards the end of the year, we had another guy that made a push and got nominated in our region for defensive player of the year. And I'm really proud of him. And I think he did a great job towards the end of the season. Matter of fact, he had a spectacular season, and so he's going on and playing, and he's getting a full scholarship to the next level. And so I'm really proud of him and Ray Mitchell over there. But I went with my gut on this because I felt like we had a solid defender all year. He went through a little bit of a injury where there was some times where laterally he couldn't move a whole lot, but he was still diving on the floor and giving us everything he had. Defensive player of the year, Armand Benitez. This MVP. So for me, an MVP is a little bit different than just a leading scorer, a little bit different than, leading rebounder or whatnot. It's somebody that makes everybody else around them better, and somebody that does all the little things every single day to make sure that the team is on the right track. Without having the coach's voice, they are an extension of the coach and making sure people are on the right track every single day, even when those people hated to hear his voice. But that's a part of being a leader. It's a part of being a leader. Everybody's not going to always like what you got to say as a leader. He's learned that, and he's most of all learned that when he goes about it the right way, he can lead anybody. And he's done a fabulous job for us. He had tough first 2 years here. We fought through some injuries, but really proud of this guy. Our MVP is Cameron Burns.
All right, I got a height requirement. I'm shorter than everybody else. This season was unusual for us. We suffered through a lot of injuries. As you can't tell, we got one on the front row over here. She's got hers. Leg injuries, arm injuries. It was hard to go through, but I'll tell you what. Been coaching 23 years in the college level, from the elite teams all the way down to little league kids. I'm more proud of that group of girls right there for hanging through the whole year, getting better and putting a fight on the field every time we played. Not only that, that is one smart group over there. I've got 3 of them with 4.0s that I'm proud of. We've got a beautiful press box now, thanks to the school's support, which made me excited to have that look back there. We get a lot of compliments on it. And first time I ain't up here saying we broke 5, 6, 7 records. We didn't. We broke 2 team records. One was triples, 14, and stolen bases at 55. And we had set a goal more like 80. Girls got slow on me with the bag leg injuries. But I'm going to get to my first award. This is the Offensive Player of the Year. Somebody laughed at me, and I think me and Peace is the only two who had to do this, put the wanted ad out. And I said, hey, I'm looking for a pitcher. I'm looking for an athlete. Anybody in the student body. A young lady reached out to me. When she did that, she come over and she visited with me. She has 3 young girls, or 1 girl, 2 boys. I'm sorry. She has a husband that's serving in the military right now. She's 27 years old. What you don't know is her story. Her story is this. Her dad coached her all the way through high school. He passed away. The love that the 2 of them had for softball was amazing. She went and played college ball, but she couldn't find herself and took a break. Started a family, raised it. When she got here, she saw a chance to finish that story that her dad and her had set out. And that's to play college softball and to get her degree. And that's what I'm more proud of anything else. She led our team with a .459 batting average, a .430 batting average in conference play, 51 hits, 28 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 15 stolen bases, on base .492. And not only that, all the things I said she's got to do, a 4.0. She told me, she said, Coach, I'm coming back next year. I said, oh my God, really? I'm excited. And then she said, don't call me team captain. Don't call me anything else. Call me team mom because I'm going to take care of my girls. And I'd like to present this to you, Heather. Heather Haggard. So everybody knows that's my second military dependent that's had a 4.0, has gotten awards and graduated, and the other one's graduated and now coaching. And that was Kylie Reswick was our first one, my first year. Now to the next one. I went out recruiting a lot a couple of years ago. Maybe it was like 3 years ago when I first saw her. And I just loved the way the team played. I loved the energy. I liked the enthusiasm. The softball IQ was through the roof. And I kept bugging her. Hey, you want to go to Fayetteville Tech? Want to go to Fayetteville Tech? Oh, I don't know. I said, it's close to home. You're going to get that education you want. She has 6 sisters. There's a lot of them. I think I've got 3 commits after her, so I'm working on it. One thing I'll tell you, this young lady played 4 positions to cover our team when we had injury issues and stepped up every time at every position. She was our little switchblade back there. I mean, she could do everything. She caught 45 games, second base, 24 games, 33 shortstop, 63 left field. And the girls just look at her like, oh, God, where's coach putting her now? And then pregame would be like, where am I at today? So at the end of the year, I just left her out in the left field. She seemed to like the grass till she hit her head. Her fielding percentage was a .938. And I got lucky to get her to come back next year. Liz, come on up here. Our Defensive Player of the Year. You got to be on this side. The next young lady, when we get to the MVP this year, I had 3 candidates that really weighed on my mind. Forget numbers. I look at classroom, how much they're there for their teammates, everything. And then I remembered a phone call I got last August. We had a player leave us. And when she got released from her college she transferred to, she asked me, "Coach, can I come home?" It stuck with me. She said, "I want to come home. I've never felt more at home than I did with your program and the girls." The team looked at me, and I asked every one of them players, and they all said the same name. I'm ecstatic to have her. She's a good student. She does give me headaches. I'm going to be late, Coach. I forgot my clothes at my house. I got to drive back. She had 365 for us this year, 38 hits, 24 runs, led the team in doubles, triples. Nope, I'm sorry, take the triples away. Home runs, 25 RBIs. She holds the record for most thrown out batters in a season, 13, 3 pickoffs, played 38 games. And you probably don't know, I remember this. When she came back, she said, "Coach, could I have number 2?" And I said, "Why do you want to change the number you had last year?" She said, "I'm wearing it for somebody that meant a lot to me in high school that I lost, a teammate." And I said, "Hon, I ain't got no problem. You can have 2. She wears it for every game. And I see her when she does something special. Leah looks up and says, "Thank you." And in that honor, you get to know a young lady and what's in here. Leah, come up here, hon. You are a valuable player.
All right, I'm not going to be as emotional as Coach John's going to be here. That was good though. Just quickly for us, obviously with the baseball team, we've had a pretty good season to this point. We're still going. We start in the tournament this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. against Wake Tech. Our league is a tough one. We've been battling it out every year. This was the first one for us where we could actually go into the last week of the season and we already knew what our fate was. We actually made the tournament with 4 weeks left and still with play going, which was a weird feeling for me being here 5 years. And I feel like this past weekend was the last regular season games for us, and it felt weird not playing with a ton of pressure. We already knew kind of where we were at, and it was cool to just see for the last couple of weeks, especially the guys kind of take their stride and hit it running. But this team did some special things throughout the season. Out for us, when in baseball, especially when you're playing 56 of these things, when you go on a 15-game winning streak like we did, and we didn't think it was ever going to end. It was the craziest thing I've ever felt. We had parents coming up to us like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "If you can figure it out, you tell me." I said, but we had everything rolling in the right direction. It was a prime example, and this really goes for everybody in the room, of what belief is really about. That was the coolest thing for me, is to be a part of a group of guys that when the game started, there was no ounce of, are we going to win? It was, hey, we're going to win this game. And within those 15 games in a row, we had times where we're trailing in the ninth. where we're, going in down 3 late, down 1 late, and we were just finding ways to win. So that was something in any sport. When you win 15 games in a row, it's pretty cool to be a part of. But this group is special. I've told my wife this a million times throughout the fall and going into the spring, that I had a feeling this could be the team that does something really remarkable. And the story's not completely written yet. We get to keep going and into Thursday with this, but what this group has done this season is truly remarkable. Winning 32 games, finishing second on the east side. Our region split up, so we finished second on the east side. It was a fun year, but more importantly for me, I want to thank all my guys real quick, because this was by far the most fun I've ever had coaching. It was awesome. We had a bunch of dudes that when you came to the yard after a rough weekend, I mean, I think back of when we went down to Brunswick and we got swept at Brunswick, and you show up to practice on Tuesday. We took Monday off, show up on Tuesday, and the guys are getting after it. And when I say getting after it, I'm talking just loose, fun. They do this little thing after they start the first part of stretch where they get in a circle and they're dancing in the middle and having a good time. We'll leave it at dancing, but they keep things loose, man. They keep things loose and they have a great time. But I want to say thank y'all, because y'all make my job super fun every day to be a part of and get to go on this journey together. The other piece, I want to thank my coaches, Cole McFadder and Wyatt Carey. Those dudes go through a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time in the office, a lot of time on the road. If there is one thing that we tell every player that we bring in here, everything that we do is going to be to the standard of a Division I program. There's going to be no questions when you get here that we're going to be available to you. We're going to be on the road recruiting. We're going to put in a ton of hours, and we're going to invest into this. And I want to thank those guys for taking that same mold and that model that we have in place and running with it, and also believing in me. We've had a weird go at it as far as like this team. It's been cool to see how they've taken some of the lumps too, but they were prepared for it. The first day that we had this whole group together, we had to tell them that one of our coaches is leaving, a coach that recruited a few of these guys. And he's not too far from us. He got a really good job over at Methodist with the baseball program over there, and we were fired up to get him over there. So shout out Zach team for all you did to put this group together with us too. And then we get into November, and this is why I think it just kind of shows the grit and the way that these guys are battle tested. We get into November, and a coach that was with me for over a year and a half, and a guy that I call one of my best friends, he unfortunately had to leave the country due to some new regulations and things. But he, fortunately for him, though, he did get a job in pro ball, so he's with the Minnesota Twins right now. He left us in November. And when you tell a group of 20-some-odd pitchers that, hey, man, the guy that you look up to, the guy that recruited you, the guy that you're around every single day is not going to be with us anymore, and we're starting our season here in a month and a half, that was tough. It was a tough road to kind of sled down, but luckily we were able to get Wyatt with us really quick, and it was a seamless progression through that. But a ton of props to our guys for handling two of those. Like, I mean, that happened twice. Most people go through a 2-year program and it never happens once. But they went through it twice, and that just shows how battle tested this group is. But huge thanks to my coaches on that end. Like I said, we did set a new program wins record at 32 this year. We will never forget the 30th win, the guys that were there. That was a fun one for us, especially afterward. But it was a good one. And like I said, we're not done yet. We also had one of our players break the stolen base record. We have another player that's tied for the home runs record. Putouts, Brantley Hayward broke the putouts record this year, and Ricky broke the strikeout record, which was formerly set by a guy that played at University of North Carolina and is currently pitching with the Tampa Bay Rays. So that was a record I didn't think anybody was going to touch for a while. So without further ado, we're going defense first. I'm just kidding. We're going offense first. All right. So this one's a fun one for me. I'm pretty sure last year we had a guy from the same school get this one. But Dr. Sorrells, I want to thank you, all right, for outfitting our players in Nike gear, making our players look good when they get off the bus, in the gear that we get to rock, the uniforms that we get to wear, the cleats that these dudes wear, because it doesn't just go unnoticed. It doesn't go unnoticed by anybody, but also it's a huge recruiting tool for us. And sometimes that comes in the fashion of people that are at other two-year schools. So we had a young man that reached out to us over the summer, and I remember playing him. When you saw him come to the plate, you're sitting there like, all right, what's going to happen here? Like this, he's just a little guy. But the dude plays with a heart bigger than anybody that we've had. But he hit us up in the summer and was like, Coach, they lost their coach during the summer. And they were like, Coach, I'm looking for a place to play, looking for a new spot. I didn't really think too much of it. Me and Gabe at the time started talking in the office one morning about it. And we're like, what are we waiting on? This kid torched us last year. He got hurt like midway through. But the first series against us, I don't think we kept him off base, but maybe 2 times in a 3-game series. So we were like, you know what? Why not? What's the worst that can happen? But let's take him. Let's see what he does. When he got here, he had an okay fall. For those of y'all that don't know, we play a full fall season, and he had an okay fall. I remember when Coach Carey joined us for the first game at Segra Stadium, one of his not so great defensive games was that game. And Wyatt looked at me, he was like, oh my goodness. I was like, it's okay, dude. He's fine. He's going to be fine. And he was. He went on to play in 50 games for us, which is the most that any of our guys played in. He was a dude that once we put him in the lineup, we couldn't take him out. Ended up hitting right at 370, which is second on the team. Broke the stolen base record, which I'm not sure if that's ever going to get touched again. He's at 49 right now, which is absurd. So joining us in up here at Fayetteville Tech from the pasture is Phil Williams. He's still taller than Coach Newman. But the reason I said that, when we first started talking to Phil, I was like, Phil, what made you want to come here? He's like, man, y'all play at the nicest field. And when y'all got off the bus and y'all were wearing all that Nike stuff, he's like, man, I had to reach out. He's like, that's the place I wanted to be. I was like, well, that's good, because we needed you too. All right, so the next one for us, man, this one's a special one for me. This kid restored my faith in a community. When I first took over the job here 5 years ago, and this is no offense to anybody that's from this area, but after my first year, I told numerous people, I'm not bringing another kid in from Robeson County. I was like, I'm not going to do it. We had a ton of issues my first year. I said, no offense. No, but we had a lot of issues with some kids that we brought in from that area. And for me, as somebody not from this area, I was just thinking it was a problem. But we heard about this kid. His dad was umpiring summer games in our field, and was always a super nice dude. Came in the office. That was Mr. Driggers was still out there. And he would come in the office and put his gear on and would just talk to us. And he never would tell us, hey, you need to go watch my son, or you need to, he just always kind of lay some crumbs out. He'd be like, yeah, my son's a junior at Purnell Sweat right now. He's a pitcher. And I'm like, oh, okay, is he any good? And that kind of started his recruiting process with us. I found out about him when he was a junior, and we started kind of, following him, committed pretty early to us. And he was a kid that when we got him, I remember going down his senior year, he threw against Lumberton. He went to Purnell Sweat, and he threw against Lumberton. Before I watched him in that game, I'm like, man, this kid's going to be a project, like probably not till his sophomore year is going to be ready. Maybe even thinking maybe we redshirt him. I went down there and I stood behind home plate, and I kept watching him throw this curveball in, and I'm like, all right, never mind. This dude's going to pitch quick. And came in for us last year, had a very freshman year. I mean, it was a very freshman year. Was in my office about academics a couple times. He was a dude that started out as a potential starter for us, got some starts in under his belt, lost the starting role, came in as a reliever, kind of found his way there, and just up and down. But you knew that it was going to be more up than down once he got to his sophomore year. And this is another Coach Carey thing. When we started our season out here, obviously he missed most of the fall, so he didn't see a ton of these pitchers throw. So he came up to me after like Jacob's second or third inter squad, and he's like, man, like, what are we going to do with this kid? I'm like, he's going to pitch, man. I was like, just trust me. Like, the kid's going to figure it out. And sure enough, like, we got into a bind where one of our starters goes down early. Jacob's right there to fill the void. And we haven't been able to take him out of the starting role since. He is I'm going to throw up a couple stats here because I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head. He's currently third right now in ERA in the region, which, just so you know, we have the top three in the region in ERA right now, which is pretty impressive. So he is pitching to a 11 games started, 65 innings pitched, 4.25 ERA. And the coolest thing for me is he's pitching to a 1.28 whip, which, if you don't know what whip is, it's walks, hits, and innings pitched, which I think last year his was probably closer to a 2. But he is the progression of development that we want our guys. And when I talk about progression of development, I also talk about the classroom thing, because then we talk about how many times from freshman year to sophomore year, how many times has Jacob had to come into my office? Not really. He figured it out. He's understood what it's going to take to compete at a high level. And because of that, he's going to play for a national powerhouse in Georgia Gwinnett next year. So our defensive guy is going to be Jacob Chavis. And I think every coach here has those players, and I love all my guys, so don't take this the wrong way, but there are players that you have where you're like, man, it sucks you only get him for 2 years. And Jacob was one of those. I wish this place was a 4-year because of him, and many of our guys. The next dude, this one's a good one. He came to us in 2024. Wyatt, all 3 times you get a shout out, but Wyatt was playing at Newberry at the time, and he hit my pitching coach up and was like, hey, we have a kid that's going to transfer at the break. Y'all need to check him out. So, of course, for us, getting a D2 transfer at the break, an arm that you think you can count on, like, we're, lighting up pretty good, especially in 2024, because we needed some arms. So Ricky gets in with us, and we were at the indoor facility, and he throws his first bullpen, and elbow's gone. So he just battles back and forth with that, trying to go to doctors and figure out what's going on. No one can figure it out. Then we get to last year, which would have been his first full year with us. Same kind of thing, and ends up getting getting surgery on his arm. It was pretty messed up, so he gets surgery on his arm. But the whole time, and this is what we kind of knew with him, is like, hey man, we got to get the grades right. This is why for me, I think that the MVP really stuck out. Obviously, like, and I think any of our guys can say this, like, can you imagine a weekend series where Ricky's not pitching for us? No, because we didn't see it. He pitched every freaking weekend and got after it for us. But I think the coolest thing is for me is last year when I met with him, we knew a big area for him to be able to play at the next level was we got to get right in the classroom, brother. So we sat down and we went over a game plan of what it was going to look like. Ricky had to go home for one of the semesters last year to just rehab and do some things. He came back and met with me in the spring, and I told him point blank, I said, Ricky, don't even bother coming back if we can't figure it out in the classroom. Like, you need to get it together in the classroom. And he did. He was a 4.0 this past fall, which was remarkable for us, like to be able to bring a guy in here that when their coaches told us, I mean, I don't know if he's going to figure it out in the classroom. For me, I'm like, all right, let me see if we can figure it out. And a huge testament to him, man. He bought into what we were doing academically and really put in the effort there. And then we get to see what he can do on the field. Ricky set the strikeout record, which I said a second ago, which was set by a guy that's pitching in the pros now. But 15 appearances for us, 14 games started, 6-2 record, 69 innings pitched, 3.49 ERA and a 1.23 WHIP, and that goes with 87 strikeouts, which leads the league. So our MVP is going to be Enrique Montalvo. And I do have to say this. I need to give one shout out. There's one guy that probably gave it, all of them are running for that, which is Izzy Moore, who is a freshman pitcher for us. I had to err on the side of sophomores. Izzy's numbers right now are leading the league in every pitching category. So it was a tough thing for us, but I told Izzy and he said, give it to Ricky. So I appreciate him for understanding where we were at with that. But I did want to give him a shout out for everything he's done on the field for us too.
Where are my notes? Did you take my notes? Maybe not. All right. Huh? You know, one of the highlights of every coach's career is when they win that 100th game. It's a special time not only with the players that they have, but it's just kind of that stepping stone. We've got guys that are just super competitive. So this is just the first step in that rung, if you will, in knowing that they're going to make it to the next level, which would be those 200 wins. But we had two coaches this year that reached that level. I guess looking at the size of this, you can tell it's volleyball. If Coach Mo Liccardo would come up. You know, I am aware of the time, so I'm not going to spend, but I can tell you, I could go on and on and on about Coach Liccardo. You know, almost every day he's in my office. And I can tell you this, and I raise my hand to the good Lord when I say this, he's always talking about the ladies, not in terms of wins and losses, but how can we help them in the classroom? How can we do this? How can we do that? And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Mo Liccardo. The next coach, 32 wins this year. My goodness, that's a big step in the right direction. And he's not even finished yet. They're going to beat Wake Tech on Thursday, and they'll play again on Friday. And then on Sunday, we'll play for the championship. So we've already booked the rooms. Dr. Sorrells signed the paperwork. I know he choked when he saw the cost of us doing that. But nonetheless, 100 wins, Nick Love. You know, this was as Dr. Sorrells said early on, this was a big, big year. I mean, it started with volleyball. We went to Pellissippi State to play for a district championship. Our volleyball team went in and, played for a conference championship, and just really, the girls just made us very, very proud. And obviously it starts at the top, the leadership between Coach Tyler and Coach Mo. So I see you arguing back there. Do you want to come up and give this, or do you want me to present it? All right, Sammy, come on up here, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that Dr. Sorrells, if you'd come on up, please. Not only did volleyball set new standards, new winning records, but also with the women's basketball team, P. Shepard. And I hope you saw in the Fayetteville Observer this week the article about Coach Shepard and her lady Trojans. They talked about Coach Kay Yao, who Coach Peace played for 4 years, and just did an outstanding job. I've made it to a Final Four, I want to say. I hope I'm right in saying that, Peace. But, just an outstanding player, an outstanding coach, and we're very blessed to have Coach Shepard as a part of the FTCC program. So, Coach, would you come up and give this to Dr. Sorrells? I'll take that.
I have them right here.
My notes in there with that?
No. All right, I'll try to keep this quick. Next, we're going to recognize all the all-region awards. When your name is called, please stay up front. We'd like to take a group picture of all of you. So first, starting with volleyball, we have freshman Sammy Harless. She earned honorable mention with 233 kills, 78 blocks, 41 digs, and 9 aces. Sammy also made the all-tournament team, finishing with 32 kills and 6 blocks in the tournament. Next, we have sophomore Ella Ferry. She earned first team all-region, finishing with 277 kills, 75 aces, 300 digs, and 31 blocks. Sophomore Taylor DeTrant earned first team all-region. She finished with 921 assists, 93 kills, 30 service aces, and 311 digs. And the last goes to freshman Kyrie Willis. She earned first team all-region, finishing with 382 kills, 124 digs, 16 aces, and 35 blocks. She also made the all-tournament team, finishing with 54 kills and 3 blocks in the tournament. You are good. You're good. Volleyball had a standout year, setting a new program wins record with 25 and going on a 15-game winning streak. They also set new program standards in kills, total attacks, assists, serves, aces, digs, total blocks, assisted blocks, and points this season. Going from a 500 season last year to only losing 6 games this year and playing in the Southeast District Tournament and for a region championship. In his 8th season as the front, Coach Mo Licardo earned Region 10 D2 Coach of the Year. You want me? Women's basketball had 2 players earn all-region honors. Sophomore Amiri Banks earned honorable mention, playing in 26 games with 308 points, 105 assists, 31 steals, and 77 rebounds. The second is freshman Alyssa Phillips. She earned first team all-region, playing in 28 games with 390 points, 65 steals, 58 assists, and 115 rebounds. To make the women's basketball all-academic team, the student has to have a 3.7 GPA after 1 semester or a 3.6 GPA after 2 or more semesters. The Trojans had 4 earn this honor: Gabby Locklear, Tatiana Faison, Sanaya Stanley, and Alyssa Phillips. The women's basketball program went into this season with 12 wins as the previous program record. This year, the team went on an 11-game winning streak, setting a new program record of 21 wins overall and 15 conference wins. They also set new standards for field goals, assists, steals, and points. Leading them all the way to the Region 10 tournament championship game is Coach Peace Shepard, the Region 10 D2 Coach of the Year. Men's basketball had 3 players earn all-region honors. Sophomore Cam Burns earned honorable mention with 147 assists, 332 points, 79 rebounds, and 19 steals in 28 games. Sophomore Ray Mitchell earned third team all-region, playing in 28 games with 243 rebounds, 325 points, 51 blocks, and 16 steals. And last, sophomore Xavier Whitaker earned second team all-region, 413 points, 70 assists, 82 rebounds, and 19 steals. Softball had 1 player earn all-region. Freshman Heather Haggard earned second team utility, hitting .446 with 50 hits, 15 stolen bases. She pitched 99 innings with 42 strikeouts. And baseball region will be announced later this week. Now for the all academic team for fall 2025. To earn all academic, the student athlete must participate in a sport that competes during the fall, which would be volleyball and basketball for this, and achieves a 3.0 GPA while passing 12 credit hours. Volleyball had 13 of their 14 roster earn all academic. Kyrie Willis, Gabby Walters, y'all come up. Emma Smith, Leah Shepard, Gracie Moore, Farrah Keith, Addie Hudson, Bree Harrison, Sammy Harless, Ella Ferry, Taylor DeTrant, Madison Carter, and Trinity Blue. Squeeze in. Women's basketball had 8: Daenerys Williams, Sanaya Stanley, Alyssa Phillips, Talia Meadows, Gabby Locklear, Alana Hines, Tatiana Faison, Kiara Duncan. Men's basketball had 4: Zy McLean, Caleb James, Braden Ivy, Armand Benitez. Now we're going to do Trojan Player of the Month. This is a student athlete that gets nominated by their coach for excelling on the court or field and in the classroom during that month. So August was freshman Kyrie Willis volleyball. She played in 5 matches that month with 62 kills, 23 digs, 3 blocks, and 67.5 points. Yes. September was Ella Ferry volleyball. She played in 11 matches with 111 kills, 149 points, and 32 aces during that month. October is Taylor DeTrant volleyball. She played in 12 matches with 331 assists, 124 digs, 12 blocks, and 9 aces. November was Alyssa Phillips women's basketball. She played in 7 games with 109 points, 33 rebounds, 17 assists, and 14 steals. December was Xavier Whitaker men's basketball. He played in 6 games with 131 points, 53 free throws, 17 assists, and 17 rebounds. January, Ray Mitchell men's basketball. He played in 6 games, 96 points, 65 rebounds, and 7 blocks. February was Phil Williams baseball. He played in 12 games with 21 hits, 11 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, and a .456 batting average. March was Israel Moore baseball. He pitched 21.1 innings with a .844 ERA and 20 strikeouts. In April was Jacob Chavis. He pitched 26.1 innings with a 2.39 ERA and 22 strikeouts. Squeeze in for a picture.
One of the awards that I really enjoy giving out, and quite honestly, it's become a very competitive award. I get the coaches every now and then, they'll come into my office and they'll say, hey, have you heard anything about where the grades? Has Sydney put all that stuff together yet? And I don't know where we all stand, but it's become very competitive. And quite honestly, when I go into certain offices, I see this award, the highest grade point average for a team in the fall. It's the one that it seems to be most just, it's out there. It's being shown because they're so proud of doing this. So for the fall 2025, the best team GPA with a 3.58 overall team average, volleyball. You know, a nice deal here is last year, you talk about progression. I heard Coach Love mention it, and a lot of the coaches talk about progression moving on. This is a real nice progression, I think, that we have accomplished. And I really do believe it's because of, you know, the importance that the coaches are placing to their players, emphasizing grades, getting into the study halls, whether it's the Yes Lab or over in the Student Learning Center, doing those things, spending those hours and the hours in study hall that the coaches are requiring. It's really starting to pay off. And it's really, I think, one of the things that we're pushing even harder next year. But last year we had 8 players that earned 4.0 averages. For the fall of this year, we had 19. 19. So I'll call these players up. If you would, just come on up here. Natasha will take a group picture. In volleyball, there were 5 players: Madison Carter, Ella Ferry, Gabrielle Walters, Leah Shepard, and Kyrie Willis. For women's basketball, there were 2 players, Tatiana Faison and Alyssa Phillips. In men's basketball, one player is Ikemius McLean. Not here. For softball, we had 5 players: Margaret Drake, Genevieve Fleming, Maya Florido, Heather Haggard, and Brianna McPhail. Congratulations, ladies. Nice job. For baseball, we had 6 players: Clay Broomstrand, Austin Fletcher, Chase Goodwin, Elijah Green, Jeremy Miller, and Ricky Montalvo. Come on over here, guys. Congratulations. 19, 4.0. All right, I need to beg somebody. Someone who's been up at the podium took my notes for Trojan Athletes of the Year. I know who they are, but I want to read the description. So check, if you've been up to the podium, check to see if you've picked up any paperwork by mistake. There you go. There you go. You know, I know it's getting late, but one of the things that Dr. Sorrells always tells me, and we pass it on to the coaches, that, you know, we need to establish a legacy of sorts. And the legacy that we can establish is when the coaches buy into, and all of our coaches have bought into this, that all of their teams need to volunteer, to do something, to go to an elementary school and read to a first grade class, do all those kinds of things. Go to Snyder and set up the Christmas tree, the singing Christmas tree, and doing all of those things, and working all the other events that we get called upon to do. Hey, Steve, can one of your teams come out and help us? And I pass that on, and the coaches jump on it right away. Volleyball, 226 hours. Women's basketball, 190 hours. Men's basketball, 1,038 hours. Softball, 497 hours. Baseball, 2,502 hours. And I tell you that because that's over 5,000 volunteer hours. And that means an awful lot, because when I go to church, some of those folks will say, hey, man, thanks so much for having your team come out. And I hear that from different people in every place I go. They'll always bring up one of the things that we do that is so impactful in the community are those volunteer hours. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know Dr. Sorrells appreciates it, because it's one of the things that he talks to me all the time about. Where are we in our volunteering? So that right there is where we are in our volunteering, over 5,000 hours in the 25-26 school year. Keep it up. I say I get to choose 2 players. I don't. The coaches nominate, and throughout the years, I'm going to various ball games and I see different players interact. Some are starters, some aren't starters, but they all play a very, very important part in what's going on. So for the female Trojan Athlete of the Year, this is what the coach says. When thinking of what a coach loves in a student athlete, this lady checks all the boxes. You'll never see her in a bad mood, always with a smile. Her teammates love her because she cheers and supports every one of them. She is honest and has the utmost integrity. She is the first to volunteer for any project or fundraising opportunity that we do. She never misses practice, whether it's in season or voluntary out of season workouts. She gives 100% in everything she does, and you'll never hear her complain. She really is the kid that every coach dreams of having on their team. On top of all this, she carries a 3.69 GPA. Trinity is a phenomenal ambassador for this school and the athletic department. I wholeheartedly recommend her for this award. Ladies and gentlemen, the Female Athlete of the Year, Trinity Blue. This player came to Fayetteville Tech from Olympic High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. According to his coach, when he got here, the player, this guy thought he knew everything there was to know about basketball. I see that in this guy. But he soon learned there was a lot more to learn, especially at the collegiate level. Don't we know that, folks? Unfortunately, the injury bug struck Cam, not only once, but twice. He broke his wrist his first year. That kept him from playing, and just 8 games into his sophomore year, Cam broke his ankle. Cam went through a rough patch, trying to decide if he should even play basketball. But his heart wouldn't let him give up the game that he loved. So he rehabbed and became a vocal and inspiring leader on the team, as well as leading the team and the Region 10 Conference in assists this past year. A testimony in itself to his unselfishness. Cam takes pride in making everyone look good around him and is quick to dish off before taking a shot, sometimes to the chagrin of Coach Hurd, who wished he had taken the shot instead of passing it off because he's an excellent shooter. Cam was a very vocal cheerleader in the stands, and we had to calm him down quite a bit, in support of the volleyball and the women's basketball teams. Cam will graduate this month with his Associate of Arts degree, and he's already accepted a full scholarship to play basketball at Missouri Valley University starting this fall. Cam is centered with good Christian values and has been a great ambassador for Fayetteville Tech. Cam visits my office frequently just to check in, wanting to know how my day was going, giving me an update on his classes and how his teammates were doing. He would always say this as he left, and I'm tearing up. He would always say as he left, "Have a blessed day." Cam, I'll truly miss those visits. Ladies and gentlemen, the male Trojan Athlete of the Year, Cam Burns. At this time, I'd like to call Nick Love to the podium.
All right. Real quick, I've got to do this. For those of you that have jumped on or off our buses and went on road trips, we all know that this man's kind of taken a step back. He only drove baseball a few times this spring, and I know our guys hated that, but I've got to give him a shout out because he got a different job. He's doing some other stuff. And when Mr. Jiggers told us he wasn't going to be driving us as much, I almost gave him my resignation letter as well. But I've got to give a shout out to Mr. Larry because he is – He is, in my opinion, the MVP of the athletic department. I think I said it last year, but this guy, he didn't drive us one trip last year, and we pulled up in the bus, and he's sitting in his truck waiting to greet our guys after the game. Like, that's something that, I mean, there's numerous things, whether when he sits at the games, he sits right near the dugout. And it's funny for us as coaches, we'll look at each other sometimes and be like, who is that? And it's always Mr. Larry. And he says the funniest stuff sometimes too. But it hasn't been the same this year. Like this season's been awesome, but it hadn't been the same when you're not on that bus with us. So we do miss you tremendously, but we appreciate everything you've done. All right. We have 22 student athletes that will be graduating here in just a few short weeks. If you guys can come up, and Roderick is going to give you your stoles. Madison Carter, Maggie Drake, Amire Banks, Kiera Duncan. Yeah, y'all can come up. Denero Williams, Armand Benitez. Yeah, they'll take a picture. Jamerl Brockington, Cam Burns, Braden Ivy, Zy McLean, Ray Mitchell, Xavier Whitaker, Isaiah Arevalo, Garrett Arnold, Jacob Chavis, Cole Feldman, Tufik Kabi, Koa Close, Ricky Montalvo, Tommy Parker, Jackson Sharon, and Isaiah Street.
Smile, Ray, smile. You know, what a wonderful time when we know that 22 of our sophomores will graduate and go on to whatever they intend to go on to, whether it's going to a four-year college, getting into the workforce, doing whatever. But the fact is, you know, you can take a lot of things away from a lot of people. You know, there's a ton of things you can take away, but you can't take away that education. And these folks have demonstrated the ability to do just that here at Fayetteville Tech, is to get that degree, walk across that stage, and choose to do what they want to do. Not what someone else wants them to do, but what they want to do. It seems like just yesterday we were standing at J.P. Riddle Complex talking about the beginning of the school year in August. And you know, what a time. It was hot that day under the stands, and everybody was wanting to get things over quickly and move on. But little did we know how quickly this year would pass. And here we are tonight, recognizing a lot of players. It's just a momentous occasion. Again, I want to thank everyone who contributed to all the things that we did this year. I can't thank you enough. To the folks who wrote checks, to the folks that just worked and worked and worked with our sophomores, with our freshmen, the coaches. I can't thank you guys enough for the jobs that you did this year in working with your players. And again, getting back to what I said earlier, it wasn't about, even though teams set winning records this year, I can tell you right now, Mo and the coaches just will tell you that they want their players to graduate, to be successful. So I'm rambling on too much about that, but I can tell you right now, I'll never apologize for, as I sit on my side of the desk to talk about the academic piece of what we do. I let the coaches worry about the wins and the losses and doing things like that. My emphasis is always going to be, and I know I've got coaches that support that, and they want the same thing. And as long as they do that, FTCC is in good hands. So I thank you so much for everyone being here tonight. Sophomores, the best of luck. Freshmen, work hard this summer. Come back better next year, and let's set some more new records. Thank you very much.